Edition of Morning at NTV, the 31st of May 2022. And of course, May has been a month that has been marked by the by-election of the Omoro County, in which we had an NRM flag bearer taking on the rest and taking leadership of it, an electoral commission announcing him as the MP-elect for Omoro County, and that is Andrew Oulanyah. And today we want to find out from him what the journey has been like and what the future holds for him as a young man that is entering into a serious responsibility, but also filling in the shoes of the late Jacob Oulanyah. Good morning to you, Andrew.
Good morning, Priscilla. Good morning, viewers of NTV.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
It's been a long journey, and I know it's been a long year for you, especially in family-wise and personal life, and then into the limelight. And here you are, suddenly a member of Parliament. And I know it's not how you saw the year starting off, but what has that journey been like for you?
Thank you, Priscilla. It's been a long ride since I think November or even August last year. So we were in and out of hospital, and of course those are sleepless nights. For me, it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and I'm glad in a way that we managed to close a few chapters in our lives. We buried him, we had elections, and we won. So it's an emotional roller coaster for me. But there are a few positives to pick from the negatives. I'm grateful to all who supported us during that tough period, and they still continue to support us. It's really emotional,
yeah.
But I want to thank those who supported us during this time.
Yeah, and I know you had to make some big decisions, especially when the seat was declared vacant, and you were approached by NRM to be able to, take on the mantle from your father, represent them in the by-election, and then go through that whole process. So when did you realize that this was actually a big step that you were taking on, and how has that process of participating in the by-election looked like for you?
As mentioned earlier, I had to decide, but it was not a one-day decision. It's not one that was taken one day or 1 hour. So it was a thought-out decision, because we know the harm, the dangers of politics. It's been infiltrated by witchcraft, by poison, by some really negative energy. Politics has been bastardized so much. It's no longer about service delivery for some people. It's a do or die. So when you show interest that you're trying to solve a problem, they see you as an enemy. There are those who see you, who perceive you as an enemy. So considering all those factors and the likelihood that you have a young family, you have to take care of the estate, everything. So it was a decision that was taken after some time. The first time it was proposed to me, I told them, no, this is not possible, because we haven't even buried my father yet. Let us go through the process. So my decision was actually made after the burial. Before that, I could not, because it was not right. It was not the ethical thing to do. So when they laid him to rest, that's when the family officially presented me as the aspirant from the family.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so the campaign started. I saw you with a notebook, and you said you last used it during the campaign trails. There was so many notes and so many pages, and seeing mathematics in there. So Andrew, tell us about the campaign. What was the plan that you had, and the execution thereof? Was it as you had planned it for the campaign?
The term most people use is that it's a sympathy vote. Because you've lost an influential person, they think it's an automatic win for the one who tried to contest. I see it differently. I see that as an appreciation vote, because this election was not about me. It was about my father. It would be disingenuous of me to say I was the right candidate or I was the... Okay. But this election was not about me. It was about what my father stood for. So the campaign in a way was easy, because all I had to do was show that I was there, show that I knew the language, show that I had a message. But I wanted them to see beyond me being my father's son. for him to know Jock Andrew Oulanyah as an individual leader in his own right, in his own merit. So that's one of the messages I was trying to put across. It was not, I was not supposed to portray weakness, and that's what I want to show the people. But yes, we lost an influential person, but this vote is not just a sympathy vote to the family. It is a vote that we can actually, we can carry on with the work that was left behind. So our message to them was that a vote is a debt of work. And we all know that a debt is given to those or that person who is able to pay you back. You don't just give money out, don't give credit out. So a debt of work was given to the NRM party in 2021. A debt of work was given to my father as an MP in 2021. So a debt of work was a vote of confidence that you can actually accomplish that task. So that was our message, that give me that mandate again to continue that mantra. Because right now, we're not trying to change the government. The government is already in power. What we're trying to do is fill a gap, fill a vacancy that was left at the stroke of death. So that was our message to them. Yes.
Okay. And during the campaign trail, so many people were tossing the age card at you. I remember one of the contestants in that race, Simon Tolit, for the National Unity platform, kept emphasizing that what's this young boy going to be doing for the people of Omoro County versus me, who has been on this ballot paper, for quite a number of the elections running. And what has been your response to such comments?
Now, I've encouraged them not to look at the age. And in the last debate that we had with them, I informed them that age is a number. If you look at Barack Obama, he retired at 55. Then his successors were 75, 76, and beyond. Then if you look at the Bible, there are those who are 6 years old, like Josiah, 6 years old, and was a king for over 31 years, and he managed to change the institution. So the age should not be a factor. Should look at the competence. Should look at the attitude. Is a person service delivery driven? So if I'm able to deliver on the core interests of the county, of the nation, that should be what we need to discuss, not the age. Yes, can we deliver?
Yeah. Okay. There's also been reports that some of the opponents that were putting out there that some of the candidates towards the nominations were bought by the party that you represent, and so we want to find out from you, how true is this or how false is this?
I don't believe a person has a price, especially when it comes to leadership, because when you're standing to contest, there's a reason. It's not about money really, but if it's about money, then you're standing for the wrong reasons. The money could come after, but you need to be able to stand that you want to deliver service. So if you can be bought off, then you're not the right candidate in the first place. But I'm not aware when I was bought off. I took it as propaganda from those who thought they could smear the campaign. Okay.
Yes. Speaking of money, we all know a campaign comes at a cost. You must have a lot of money, and given the situation, you didn't have that much money. So how did you raise funds for the campaign?
Priscilla, I mentioned earlier that this campaign was not about me. The campaign was about my father and what he stood for. So in a way, I got a lot of support from his friends, from the party, from well-wishers, from my own colleagues, former colleagues, and they resigned, and then also from OBs, old boys. So I got a lot of support world over in terms of material, really, and moral mentoring, and it was a whole team effort to have me where I am right now.
Okay. All right. Of course, there's also been, the aftermath reflection on how the entire campaign trail was. There's the conversation of security, too much unnecessary deployment for a by-election. There was also concerns about the trucks that were ferrying people, quote unquote, from other places to come and cast their vote. Then you also have so many other concerns, arrests of opposition leaders and opposition agents at the different polling stations. So with all these, in your understanding from democracy and politics, was this a free and fair by-election?
In my own view, my own opinion, the election was free, fair and peaceful. Issues of law enforcement, I would comment very briefly, because when you're arrested, it's for a reason. And if there's no reason, they have to release you. So I believe all those who were arrested, there should have been a reason. I have not yet got the official documentation of why some people were arrested or why they were released. But for law enforcement officers, I think they're doing their job. And normally it's based on intelligence. So if you're a threat to an election, if you're a threat to the process itself, if you plan to disrupt, that's all intelligence that the security might not freely share with the public. So most of those things are done based on intelligence. And from what I've gathered, the arrests were done at night. Not that you're campaigning during the day, but so I don't want to comment because I don't have the full details of why they were actually arrested. But regarding the law, I believe it was in line with the intelligence they got. Okay,
all right. You are now Member of Parliament elect for Omoro County, but then again you must forge a path forward. I believe as a young person, we are meant to actually shape the transition and the future for ourselves, especially as far as democracy and politics is concerned. Now, in the presence of multipartyism, how do you actually intend to bridge the gap between you and your opponents to be able to then satisfy the people of Omoro County moving forward with the remaining term?
Again, back to the message that we kept preaching to the people. You'll notice that the vote count, those who turned up for voting were 17,069. Those are the ones who turned up to vote. In a by-election, that's a massive number. And out of the 17,069, I got 14,024. 224. Now, if you look at those numbers, they point to a message. And it's not about the party, it's not about the tribe, it's not about the religion. There's no discrimination in that election. So our message to them has been, what we want is service delivery. We want the hospital there, we want the school there, we want the road tarmac, we want the economic empowerment, we want agriculture mechanized, we want all these things done. The how is what maybe the party could debate, the timelines for delivery. Now, you already have a government in power that has the capacity to deliver within its timeline of its term of service. You have a government in power already that can deliver those services that you want. The how, you can hold me accountable. Yes, I think that's the beauty of the alternative view. That I might want the school, but you want it in a different location. I want it here, for different reasons. That I want to have the school, but you're saying, yes, the school is there, can we enhance the capacity, can we have the staffing? But also beyond the school, can we empower the parents? Can we empower the students to actually know the value of education? Can we talk to the parents and they know that producing 10, 15 children is no longer sustainable in this economy? That if you produce 15 or 20 students, you become the responsibility of the MP to pay school fees for your children because you failed to take care of them. So the discussion goes beyond just the mandate of an MP, but goes into actually changing society, transforming society for the future ahead.
Okay, all right. We know that you're indebted to the people of Omoro to finish your father's work. One of the things that your father is remembered for is the relationships that he had with various people at all stages and all classes of life. We do have people like Simon Tolit who are influential figures within the area that you're now representing. So elections are done. Are you going to bring to table a unity with these influential leaders to be able to work together for the people of Omoro?
There's a draft Omoro development agenda, Omoro development plan, and it's what we're kind of reviewing to see what we could add or remove from that plan. So it's consultative. So we'll circulate that with all the stakeholders and then have their input.
So tell us more about the Omoro development plan. What is in the details?
The details is still a draft, so I believe we'll share in due time. But it looks at education, looks at economic empowerment, looks at health, looks at infrastructure, looks at agriculture, but also looks into the culture institutions. How do we empower? Because the northern part is very, very proud of its culture and tradition. So how do you make sure that is propagated? Yes. So it's a discussion that is ongoing. So I believe even the contestants or aspirants or candidates who are in this race will come and share their opinion on how we can move Omoro forward. Because elections are done. We should be able now to help the people get out of poverty, and that's our main war at the moment. Because regardless of your your best plans. Unless you have something tangible in the pocket, it's not worth it.
And from the time that you have been in the county, from your perspective, what are the root causes of the poverty line that we see in Omoro County?
Priscilla would have to step back a bit and go into the time of war. Because during the war for about almost 20 years, a really long war. So in that period, you're powerless, you're defenseless, you're dependent on someone else, on a handout. Especially if you're in an IDP camp, internally displaced people's camp. You get handouts from government. So you're not self-reliant. You can't do farming, you can't do this. Then also during that time, the able-bodied people were taken. Taken by the LRA. And therefore we have a gap because the fathers were either killed or taken captive. So we have a gap in that aspect, because now the youth lacked mentoring in that period. So you'd have a youth that is misguided, and that's a risk for any
institutional mentorship,
exactly.
Family setup, then that translates into the social economic infrastructure.
Yes, so that gap is unique. And unless, actually one of the things I had wanted to propose was affirmative action for Northern Uganda. If we can have affirmative action, because we can't assume that Northern Uganda is at par with the rest of the regions. It's not. And that issue of mindset, because you're used to, you're dependent, you're powerless, you're defenseless, in your mind you're still that way. So unless we can be deliberate in changing the mindset, that you can actually see a positive. The president joked about our names, that our names are so negative. For example, we have a name like Afoyechan, like I'm thanking you for poverty, like Afoyechan, Komakech. I mean, like the names have negative connotations, but also the Luo tradition, you name people in memories of what you're going through. So it's a bit of back and forth. But the mindset changes is a critical thing. And then also the skills. Can we have youth with sellable skills? One of the interventions the president has pledged to support is the creation of a vocational school. That will be done in one of the sub-counties called ODEC. So if you can have more of such interventions, in addition to the soya processing plant that is intends to put up, all those will go a long way in building the skills that are sellable beyond just riding borders for the youth. Things like that.
Okay. All right. I've not heard anything about health, and yet we know you don't have a referral hospital. The biggest that you have is a health center 4. So what is the expected plan for improving the health as far as Omoro County is concerned?
Regarding health, there are already plans in the pipeline. One of them was to upgrade the Loge Health Center 4 to a district hospital. Then to upgrade Odek Health Center 3 to a Health Center 4. To upgrade Bobby Health Center 3 to a Health Center 4. Among other Health Center 2s to be upgraded to Health Center 3s. But all those, in terms of the parliamentary aspect, we need to be sure that those hospitals are actually staffed. So that people get quality health care. We need to make sure that the drugs are actually there to cater for the needs of the people. So all those things will have to be done within this term of the NRM, because that is already work that is in progress.
Okay, all right. So speaking of work in progress, you did mention that you're here to pay a debt, one to your father's work, to continue them and bring them to accomplishment in this remaining term. So walk us through your plan in Parliament. How do you intend to proceed from henceforth?
Parliament is lobbying, really. And one of the beautiful things that my father did was to build a network. So at the moment, Omoro is seen as an orphan. I'm seen as an orphan. That's the advantage and disadvantage that the community has. But if you use it well, you have leverage. And therefore you can get certain things that can be done because of that. And the beauty with the presidential pledge is that some of those things can be done expeditiously. So that's what I'm benching on what the president pledged to support us with, yes.
All right.
In addition to, I know the budgetary constraints of the parliament and that whole process, but I'm banking on the presidential pledges so that I follow up on them and expeditiously handled as I pursue the parliamentary work as well.
Okay,
yes.
All right. Your final shots, one to the people of Omoro County, but to Uganda at large as the new member of parliament elect.
Mine is still the same message of unity, of reconciliation and of development. The elections are over, the campaigns are over. Let's join hands, let's work together and see how we can develop Omoro, how we can develop northern Uganda, how can we can develop Uganda as a nation. Mine is a commitment to serve, to be a servant of the people, because you've given me a mandate, you gave me a vote of confidence, you gave me a debt of work that I have to pay back with work, with meticulous work. And I want to thank you for putting that confidence in me to stand with you and to represent you. Thank you very much.
Also, finally, which kind of music are you into? Because we all know, you know, your father loved music. So what kind of music are you into?
I'm into the more laid-back genres like reggae, salsa, kizomba, zouk, more laid-back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dance for any.
So if we played the Yole song,
no, that's different. That's for exciting the public.
If my producer can get us that song, really.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring my bila, but it would have been good.
Oh, it would have been good.
Yeah.
All right. So on another time, we'll definitely have you with that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Honorable Andrew Ojok Oulanyah, for joining us this morning and enlightening us about what you intend to do and how you intend to actually complete the work that your father started. He made a very good comment, and he said that you gave him the vote of confidence, but more so you've given him the debt of work which he intends to fulfill throughout his tenure as a member of parliament, and so we look forward to seeing a fulfillment of that. That has been our Kickstarter, and of course we take a breather when we return. In our Tech Note we get to look at electricity vandalism, but we've got to see Andrew. Just give us a sample from where he's all right. Your leg. Your leg. Wait. Continue. Your leg. All right. Thank you so much.